Hey, what's up guys? So today we've got something fresh, something new from Hollyland. This is the Lark 150. It's their latest wireless microphone system. Hollyland has been doing a lot of cool wireless transmission systems, such as the Mars 400S Pro. I've been using these a lot on my projects, and now they just came out with a brand new microphone system, so I'm super excited to try it out. So you can actually hear the audio from it right now. First of all, let's take a look at what you get in the box, and after that, let's do a range test. So inside of the box, we get a case which has 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, as well as a bunch of accessories. So the accessories we get are a USB-C cable for charging. We get a little audio cable so you can plug in the receiver straight to the camera. We also get 2 little windshields for the 2 transmitters. And last but not least, we get a little lavalier microphone so that can be clipped onto a shirt. So I've got one right here, and that connects up straight to the transmitter. So the 2 transmitters and the receiver all fit into this little box. And I think this little box is the coolest thing about this entire system, and that's because it has a USB-C port on the back and it will charge all your devices around 2.5 times. So the fact that this is a chargeable case is a really cool feature. Hollyland has done something different, very unique. I haven't seen that before, so that's really cool. And here we have one of the transmitters. It's a really tiny one. I can already see it's just connected up to the receiver. So the transmitter has the microphone built in here and a clip, so you can pretty much just clip it on a t-shirt. And if this solution is a little bit too big, then you can of course use the lavalier microphone, just what I'm using right now. So that basically just plugs in on the top, and so we can have the lavalier microphone. This cable extends, so you can put the transmitter in your pocket, lavalier, clip it to a t-shirt. On the side we have a mute switch, so when you press that, it will just mute the device, and you can also mute it from the receiver. And also this is a power switch, so if you hold it down, it will power it off. So it's a very simple, cool little device, and I already tried it out on my previous video. So if you have a look at my studio setup tour video, you'll be able to hear these mics over there. And at the bottom we have a little connection which connects up to the box, so that's how you charge it. You basically just pop it in and it starts charging straight away. You also have the space for the receiver and another transmitter. And the cool thing about having 2 transmitters is even if you're recording just yourself, like I am right now, you can basically leave one inside, charge it up, and if this one runs out of battery, then I can basically just hot swap them, plug this one in. It takes 4 seconds to connect up to the receiver, so it's really quick and easy, and then you can just keep on going. And then here we have a little slot, so we can actually put your little cable to connect the receiver to the camera, close it up, and it's a cool little setup which will charge your devices, so you can just pop it in your bag. It's very tiny, so you can take it anywhere. 2 microphones, super cool. So now I just want to show you the receiver, and it's connected up to my camera right now through the line out port. Here we have level adjustments, a little screen on the front, which is really handy. And you have the headphones out port. So for any of you guys that have a camera that doesn't have a headphone port, you can use this to monitor your audio. But if your camera does have a headphone output, I'll definitely recommend using that one just in case, so you can hear the audio that's being recorded on your camera rather than a pass-through. But if you don't have a headphone output, this is definitely a cool feature. We have the power on-off switch, and at the bottom we have a little clip, so you can clip it onto something, but it also clips onto your hot shoe of a camera. So you basically just clip it on, slide it in. It's quite a tight fit for my cameras, so I don't slide it in all the way because it's very hard to take it out. But I just slide it in halfway, and it's pretty solid. It feels very solid. That's how it looks like from the front. It's very easy to change the levels. You have the little level dials. So this little receiver has a few cool features. Let's first of all take out this little mic, the second mic, and wait for it. Now it's connected, and here we have the volume control. So we can actually control the dB. We can go all the way down to -10 dB. Or if we go to the right, we can go to +10 dB. And the way I've set this up with my camera is that I set my Lumix S1 to -12 dB for the input, and this one is currently set to -1. So that gives me a lot of room. I can get a little bit louder and it still shouldn't clip. So that's my settings for it at the moment. And as you can see, now we are in stereo mode. So we have control over the left channel and the right channel. And there are 2 separate channels. So at the moment we are in stereo mode, and that means that one transmitter is going to the right channel, the other transmitter is going to the left channel. So if you're doing an interview where it requires 2 people to wear these mics, then this is probably the best option, because in post you'll have two different channels, so you have complete control over the adjustments for each voice. So let's say one person is very quiet, the other one is very loud. We can balance that out in post because it's on two different channels. So that's a really good option. So next up we have mono mode. Mono mode is good if you're using one microphone. If you're using two microphones, you will still have the ability to control them individually on here, but in post you'll have one track with both recorders, so you're better off using the stereo mode if you're recording two people. And next up we have the safety track feature. So this works very similar to the mono mode, except one of the channels is recorded at -6 dB. So yet again, if you're using two mics, you won't have much control in post over who's louder, who's quieter. It is a very cool feature, but it does have that limitation, like the mono mode, where two of the microphones are on the same channel. But if you're recording one person, I think this is the best mode to use, because you always have that safety track, -6 dB, so it's always really handy, just in case something gets too loud. Once we press and hold the button again, we go back to stereo mode, and stereo mode I think is the most useful if you're doing a two microphone setup, just because it will record each microphone to a different channel. So one will go to the left channel, the other one will go to the right channel, and that way you'll have a lot more flexibility in post when editing the audio on two different channels. And because we're still in stereo mode, we can compare the audio quality of the built-in microphone of the Lark 150 with the lavalier microphone that is running to the second transmitter. So I'm just gonna clip it on right here. So it's roughly in the same position as the lavalier microphone. So now you are listening to the lavalier microphone, which is plugged into the transmitter. And now we're gonna switch to the second microphone, and this is the built-in microphone of the Lark 150. Back again to the lavalier microphone, and now back to the built-in microphone of the Lark 150. And one thing I forgot to mention is that these transmitters are rated for 4.5 hours of battery life. I've been using this for under 2 hours, and I could see the battery life of this on the receiver, which was halfway full. And the battery of the receiver is rated at 7.5 hours, so that's quite a bit longer. So if you're miking up just one person, you can pretty much just hot swap these, take this one off, put it in a charging case, it will start charging, take the other one out, it will automatically connect to the receiver, and you're ready to keep filming. And also this entire system is rated for less than 5 milliseconds of latency. So finally, it's time to go outside and do a little range test with these microphones. They are rated for 100 meters of stable connection. So let's find out how they work outside. Yo, so we are outside. It is crazy windy today, so it's a great time to test out the windshields on the built-in microphone, and the lapel I have hidden underneath my t-shirt. And I have the transmitter in my pocket, so that could be also a little bit different for the range test with this one in my pocket. Probably this one will do a little bit of a better job because it's more exposed. So I have measured 50 meters going back there into the forest. So let's find out how the range test will be going. So far we are 5, 10, 15, around 20 meters here, around 25 back here. So hopefully you can still hear me fine. So 30 meters facing towards the camera. Transmitter is exposed, so clear line of sight. I'm pretty sure if I'm gonna turn around, that's gonna limit the transmission, just because you know, the signal has to go through an object rather than, it's a clear line of sight at 50 meters. There's nothing in front of us. So at the moment we are using the onboard microphone, which is going straight to that camera down there. And now we're gonna switch to the lavalier microphone that is hooked up to the transmitter that's in my pocket. So hopefully that sounds good. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is 50 meters at this point. Clear line of sight. Now if we go, we can still see the camera back there. If we go hide in here behind the tree, I wonder if you can still hear me or not, if the tree has broken the signal. Now I can see the camera, and now I'm hidden again. So this is around 50 meters behind two trees. So we'll see if that works. And now we're back in clear line of sight again. So you can see me, this is 50 meters. And we can keep walking backwards a little bit. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is 55, 50. So this is around 60 meters range right now, still clear line of sight. So we are now walking back to the camera around 55, 58 meters now. Here we go, clear line of sight. Now we are approaching 50, so clear line of sight of the camera. Right there, the transmitter is right on that tripod, and 50 meters. So we're gonna keep coming forward. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad, especially on the one here. The one under the t-shirt with the level layer should be a bit better. So we are around 40, 30, approaching 30 meters. And now we are getting close to 75. So we just lost line of sight back there, but this is 65, 60 meters. So that's pretty much as far as I would really go with a microphone like that. So hopefully you can hear me right now. We are in a clear line of sight. The microphone here, the microphone transmitter is on top of my t-shirt, is in clear line of sight. The one in the pocket is not as visible. So right now we have that visible. So now here we are around 60 meters distance from the camera, from the transmitter. So hopefully you can hear me all fine. Usually I wouldn't have any reason to come out this far away from the camera. But hopefully if the signal was still stable over there, that's an option if you do want to do that. I am facing towards the camera at all times, so that should make the signal the best. So probably around that distance there, 20 to 30 meters is perfect for me. As long as I can kind of do, turn around, do other things around, the transmitter doesn't have to be facing towards the camera, then that's perfect for me. I would be super happy with that. Yo, so I just had a little preview of the audio clips that we just recorded. I had a listen, and as you can hear, the audio does drop out, especially after turning away from the camera. And that's pretty much a limitation of the technology, the 2.4 gigahertz technology. So that's pretty much gonna happen to any microphone that's using the 2.4 gigahertz connection. But in saying that, when the transmitter is in a clear line of sight, you definitely can get good audio. If you can see the camera and can see the transmitter, you can actually go quite far. As you can see, I did go up to 60 meters in the forest, so that still was pretty good, especially when you're facing the camera straight. But for the transmitter that was in my pocket, that's a different story. That one did cut out. That's because once you walk, it does kind of move around and it's not perfectly straight, and it's also a little bit lower. So if you're going further away from the camera, I would definitely recommend having the transmitter mounted up here. And if you're closer to the camera, like I was in the studio, I had it in my pocket, which was underneath the desk, and that didn't seem to cause any issues. That's because we're in a very close environment. But if you're going further away, 40 meters and above, I'll definitely recommend to have someone actually on the camera monitoring the audio, just to make sure that you get it, or check right after you record the clip. And if you're just one-man band, then stick around the camera, don't go too far away, and always make sure that you're facing the camera without any obstructions. But in saying that, we did go behind some trees, and the audio quality from this was still pretty good. It was not cutting out as much. So trees could be fine, but if you're going and turning around, that will definitely cut out the audio. So just be mindful of those things. Once you know the limitations, you can work around them pretty easy. So overall, I think this is a very cool system. If you're looking for a wireless microphone solution, definitely check this out. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, leave any comments down below if you got any questions, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.